Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And just yesterday, I did a video about South Yorkshire Police and their connivance and sort of the consideration they showed to a certain group in South Yorkshire, in Rotherham, who were content over the course of about 15 years to about 1,500 children, and how the police helped them and connived and covered it up and assisted, and in some cases said, well, it's what the girls deserve, isn't it? Or it'll teach them a lesson. And I thought to myself, do you know what? The police can't get any worse. I got very angry making that video, and I thought the police cannot sink any lower. Boy, was I wrong. Let's look at this. Before I begin this, I'm going to say that I'm going to have to sort of alter the language and use terminology that is, say, YouTube algorithm friendly. So please understand when I use these terms, it's not because I'm particularly thick or anything. It's because I've got to cover myself in order to not get any kind of flagging up from YouTube. So just to get, you'll know exactly what I mean by what I'm saying, but just to sort of make it a little bit more user friendly. So straight into the article here. Police watchdog probe 8 more child undressing search cases after 2 teenage girls, both aged 15, and that makes them children legally, were searched whilst menstruating. 8 child undressing searches have been referred to the police watchdog by the Met. The incidents are under review, happened between December 2019 and March of this year. Trauma and lasting impact can result from child searches, the Met said, and it comes after outrage over 2 cases of girls being undressed while menstruating a few years ago. A review found that race is likely to have been a factor in at least one of the searches. So there were 2 cases. This was publicised a little while ago. It came to light a couple of months ago. There was vast outrage, and there was 2 where 2 young teenage girls, one in a school, and she wasn't taken to a secure unit in a police station and searched or anything like that. No. She was taken whilst in school to a classroom and undressed in a classroom and probed, and this sparked outrage. Of course it did. And it'll never happen again, it'll never happen again, blah blah blah, all the usual platitudes that these tossers say. Now there's a further 8 cases being referred, and you can guarantee they won't be the only 8. So a further 8 referrals involving these kind of searches of children by the Metropolitan Police officers have been made to the police watchdog, who will probably do nothing, because we saw 1,500 girls were AR'd in Rotherham, and the most cruel punishment meted out to any of the police officers was a written warning. So what are they going to do here? Little slap on the wrist, is it? Don't do it again, Perkins. Off you go. I mean, seriously. This is following public outrage earlier this year over 2 15-year-old girls who were searched while menstruating. The voluntary referrals relate to separate incidents between December 2019 and March 2020, where children aged between 14 and 17, so we're talking 14-year-old girls, were undressed and searched by officers in custody or subject to more intimate searches outside of custody. So they weren't even in custody and they were intimately searched. Now, that to me, when it's a child, that smacks of R. Now, those policemen need to be fired and prosecuted for R and do 30 years in a hard prison, and make sure every inmate knows what they've done and that they're policemen. Because if they're going to do time, they're going to do hard time. The Independent Office of Police Conduct, the IOPC, the toothless, corrupt tossers who gave no policeman any punishments bar one written warning for the R of 1,500 girls in Rotherham, have returned 2 of the referrals to the force to investigate. The rest are still pending with the IOPC, who will probably brush it under the carpet because we know what they are. And it comes after 3 cases were referred to the watchdog. 2 teenage girls, known as Child Q and Olivia, not her real name, were undressed and searched by officers while they were menstruating. The 3rd case, involving a child known as Child A, was confirmed to be under investigation by the Met last month. Deputy Assistant Commissioner Lawrence Taylor, another corrupt policeman, said, "We understand the trauma and lasting impact of these type of searches can have on people, but won't stop doing it, especially young people, who we enjoy doing it to, and understand the public's concerns following several cases, of which we don't care. In response, we have already made a number of changes to the way we work to ensure that officers consider the child first and take a safeguarding approach, but won't stop doing it. They do like getting those young girls, 14 years of age, in a room, not in custody, just in a room, and undressing them and intimately searching them. I bet there's no warrant. I bet there's no court order to intimately search a child." We are also in the process of reviewing complaints received over the past 3 years in relation to these searches involving children under the age of 18. This includes searches outside of the custody environment where intimate parts are exposed. This is CP. These are sick perverts in blue uniforms. Searches in custody and searches that expose more intimate parts outside of custody are important in ensuring the safety of a person. No, if you want that to be done, first of all, you arrest and take that person into custody, and no policeman should ever be doing that search. That search should be conducted in a medical environment, and it should be a doctor or appropriately medical qualified person doing that search. It should not be a bunch of cops fondling a 14-year-old girl. We have already confirmed 3 cases have been referred to the Independent Office for Police Conduct, the IOPC, and for that important independent oversight, independent, handing out letters, naughty boy letters for Child R. Come off it. We have now made a further 8 voluntary referrals to the IOPC. Child Q was searched by a female Met officer in 2020 after she was wrongly suspected of carrying cannabis. So, a little bit of cannabis, undressed, fondled, intimately searched. Come off it. This is illegal, and we all know exactly what this is. The search took place without another adult present and in the knowledge that she was menstruating, a safeguard report found. The local child safeguarding practice review conducted by City and Hackney Safeguarding Children Partnership concluded that the search should never have happened. Of course it should never have happened, and was unjustified, and that racism was likely to have been an influencing factor. A second anonymous teenager who was given the pseudonym Olivia by the BBC was arrested after being accused of robbery, and whilst in custody was found to have a sharpened stick and small blade, said to be for self-harming, her mother said. This prompted 6 officers to search the autistic 15-year-old in front of male colleagues, leaving her traumatised, and the BBC reported that she later tried to end herself. The Met said the updates that have been made since Child Q report was published, including giving refreshers. Oh yeah, going to give you some refreshers on how to commit it to officers over further search policy, how to get away with it. This is how you get away with it in future, boys. Officers now must also get permission from an inspector and have a conversation with a supervisor before carrying out the search. No police officer must ever search a child. It must be a medical professional. An adult must also be present. Yeah, this, I'm afraid to say, is the police being shown once again for what they are. Like yesterday, South Yorkshire Police. Today, the Met. They are dangerous to children. They are undressing children, having a good gawk, intimately searching them for no reason whatsoever, illegally, for their own amusement. There's words for that. R comes to mind. Child ab comes to mind. These guys are perverts. They're corrupt. They're nasty. Degenerates. They should be fired. Again, everyone from the Metropolitan... That was the commissioner, isn't it? The chief commissioner of the Metropolitan Police down. Fire the lot of them. Because they're all cast from the same stone. Why is the Home Secretary not on this? Why has nobody been fired? Why is nobody in prison? It's disgusting. I'm going to end now, come up and round off. I am going to take again. I'm going to have to take a moment. I'm getting so angry. Where does it end? Which police force can we finally trust? I don't think we can trust any of them. I think the police, as it stands, the entire police force of this country needs to be thoroughly investigated, root and branch, every single officer, from the lowliest beat constable all the way up to and including the Home Secretary. What is going on is totally unacceptable. We, the people, we have no say on this. We should be pitchforks and burning torches outside number 10 demanding action and throwing those corrupt wankers out of office. We need to take some kind of action. What do they want? Do they want vigilante action? Is that what's going to have to come in this country? Because it's going to be the only justice you get. Because the police cannot be trusted, and certainly cannot be trusted with children. And this is me after I've calmed down. Where does it go next? Will I be doing another one of these videos in next week? Next month? Where does it end? Where do policemen stop with the abuse of children? The police are not your friends. Don't ever think they are. They're enemies of the state. I'm going to finish now. If you like what you hear and see on this channel, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Ring the bell for notifications of future output. Leave a like, leave a comment, and geez, I better get a comment here. And until next time, dear friends, stay safe, stay well, protect your children, and goodbye.